Okay, it's Hillbillies in the Bush, and we're back. We're up here in the pine grove, I guess you would say. We don't have many pine areas like this around here. I actually got to plant some of these pine trees when I was about 16, 17 years old, 18. But this is a really nice piece of property. It's strip mine, as you can tell. This was all stripped, and they never reclaimed it, and about the only thing we could get to grow here, this is a buddy of mine's property, is pine trees. And him and his dad, he's about 80 years old, him and his dad planted some of these trees, and when he was a kid, and I helped him plant some when I was younger, and this is where we're going to collect our fatwood. So we'll get on up in here, and there's some trees blown down. We must have had some high winds through here all last fall, and it knocked some trees down, and he told me I could go in and get all the fatwood I wanted. So the boys and I are up here with our buddy Jeff, and I don't know where Ryan's off to. He's off somewhere, but he's in no danger of getting lost. We're in a pretty good piece of acreage, but it's surrounded by a dirt road, so he's not like he's lost forever. But this is we'll get up here in the air and get some there's all kinds of different pines up through here, mostly white pine, but there's some other different pine trees. I'm going to take some, like this here's a little bit shorter needle, and the needle is kind of flat looking. But we'll get up in here and find us some fatwood, and I'll show you what it looks like and where you can get it. You want to find a pine forest like this right here, or a set of woods, and that's where we're going to find us some fatwood. And I'll show you guys what it looks like and show you how easy it lights. A greasewood, fatwood, what it is, it's resin impregnated, where a pine tree has died, rotting on the ground, or you can actually find some limbs of some older pine trees that are down low that are rotten and snap them off, and they'll be loaded up with pine resin. The tree, if it gets cut, it'll exude a lot of pine resin into the stuff, but this here is actually impregnated into the wood, and we'll give you some examples of that here in a little bit. So until then, see y'all later. Okay, we're back. Here's what you're looking for. It's usually right at the base of a rotten tree like this, and the nice big limbs, and you're wanting something nice and dark like that. Now Ryan sawed off a piece. Where's the piece you got sawed off? Now this one here is not quite as good, but you can tell it's got some pretty good resin right there. The darkest that you can get, the better. Like for instance, that dark brown piece up there, that's usually about the best. The darker it gets in a dark red, oops, where you at? Oh, yeah, there you go. The dark red, that's what you're wanting. But we'll go ahead and chop a few pieces off of this. They won't be very long because they're small branches. The farther out on the branch it gets, the less it gets. But we'll show you some more. We got us a nice big pine tree down right here, and I just whacked out a chunk to show you. This is a limb that come out of this area right here, and as you can see down inside there, there's still some fatwood down in there. But if you turn this over, you can look at this, see all that resin in there? Bunch of resin in there. Now, the problem with it was, it did cost me. And since everybody's keen on showing their mistakes, I'm going to show you mine. Give me just a second. Okay, I'm back. And like I said, I was cutting on that and prying around on it, and I was pretty rough on something. And let me just show you the result, and then I'll tell you what I found out actually. As you all know, this is my axe, and as you can see, there's a big problem right there at the end of it. What happened was, I was prying sideways on it, and when I made this handle out of a chunk of firewood, hickory wood, right in here, put that down before you get cut on it, please. That is very sharp. Right in here, there was a knot, and I should have known better than to leave that knot in there. As it turns out, that knot just happened to be right along this crease line of where that where that handle was in. And when I went to prime with it, you can see what happened. Now, fortunately, well, unfortunately, I wasn't done with the piece of Fatwood. So a buddy of mine, Jeff, was here, and he loaned me his hatchet. Now, I'm sure all you guys know these hatchets, and let me just show you what it is. This is actually a little mini camp hatchet or something, but this is what it is. And I know that you guys have all seen these. And this here just happens to be a nice little hatchet, just to give you an idea of the size. There's the size difference. Let me back up here a little bit. He's got, I think that's like a 12-inch handle maybe. And mine is actually a full-size single bit axe that is probably 70, 80 years old. Who knows how old it is? It's ancient. But mine still has great steel in it. And it is going to get a new handle. I believe the new handle I'm going to put on this was going to be Osage orange. Osage orange is far tougher than hickory or oak. It's a little bit tougher than locust. In my opinion, Osage orange is the toughest wood that we have here in the eastern woodlands that I've found. I have it on my tomahawk that I've made, and I've thrown it a bunch of times, and it's never even considered cracking or breaking or anything else. The problem with Osage orange, since it is so dense, it sends a lot of shock back through your hands. That's the only problem with it. But as long as you take care of it and you don't beat it all to pieces right there at the right here where it goes in. And this one here wasn't beat up. It was just, there was a knot right here, and I know I seen that, but I figured it was inside the head where it wouldn't matter. I didn't think it was going to stop right there on that break line, but it did, and I feel that's what caused this to break when I was prying sideways. You're not supposed to sink your axe down in something and pry sideways, but in my book, that's all fair and game with an axe or a knife. I mean, if you need to get rough with them, they should be able to take whatever you give them. Now, I will keep this handle because I think I have another hatchet at the house, a small hatchet head, sort of like what that Gransfors Brooks is, and I will probably cut this down since there's no knots in here. This is still a good hickory handle, and there's no knots back through here, and I'll probably cut it down and make a handle for a shorter hatchet. But just something to think about, guys. I wanted to show that. If you've got a knot anywhere near where that area of the head is, it would suck to have to scrap out a process once you get that far along with it, but there's what can happen. Luckily, it happened on a day to where we're out playing in the woods. If we had a situation to where I had to do something like this to actually get a fire and survive, or if it was 20 below zero and I had to rely on that and that broke, I would really be in problems. I'm not saying I couldn't do it, I'm just saying we'd have some real problems. So let's go on around and we'll find some more, and I'll try and show it to you as we're chomping it out, and we'll see you in a bit. We got some Fatwood right down here into this knot, this dead tree.
Dad, you forgot to say hillbillies in the bush.
Nah, we don't have to say that, I already said. And
well, see, if you look real closely, you can actually see it. Big Fatwood right there.
Are you down here on this, Ryan?
Yeah.
All you have to do is cut her out. Lots of times that knot will go back inside this tree, so the more this tree you whack out, the better it is.
Dad, you might want to move that branch a little so they can see.
But since I don't have my big axe with me to take some massive hunks out of this tree, we'll just go ahead and...
Now you all see that big piece of Fatwood right there, right? It's not just me.
See how it sits in there, and you cut it out, and there it is.
There's another choice piece of Fatwood.
Got a good piece?
What's that, Jeff?
Got you another good piece?
Let's go back over here to Dad and see what he's doing.
Get out of the way, Ryan. I'm tossing this up.
Oh, crap.
There's Alex. He's got a saw, and he's cutting some off. Oh, he's going to take off our backpack. He's the one packing the Fatwood, so the farther we walk, the heavier that bag gets. And he's got my saw. and he's cutting that piece off. Ryan's over here cutting this piece off. And really there's fatwood down in there, but the saw is a lot safer than a hatchet or an axe for them. And
Dad, we're not even going to be able to use this. There's all sorts of fungus on it.
well, we'll cut that off. Just keep on sawing. See, you guys been letting me do all the sawing and hacking and everything. And Ryan's been cutting some, but Alex has been wanting it, so now I'm letting him do it. Go ahead, Alex. I got you zoomed in, buddy. You're just going to town.
Dad, zoom in on this. Look how thick it is.
I know. You keep right on going. Don't stop. We ain't got all day to cut that one piece, bud. You just keep right on working it. Ah, you cheater.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Uh-oh. You struck out on that one. I don't know if there's fatwood in that or not. Stomp it off there and we'll see what it looks like. Let me see the saw first. Oh, okay. Keep cutting. What's yours look like, Ryan?
I didn't need all this, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off.
Well, if you're going to cut it off, I'd cut it off a lot lower. Here's the thing, guys. This fatwood, where the fatwood's at, it starts down inside the tree. And it comes up the limb. Yeah, that's got some in it.
Dad.
It comes up the limb, but it's only going to go X amount up in the limb.
Here.
It don't travel clear up into the limb. The good fatwood is right at the end, as you can see.
Dad.
And it'll probably only come up to about 6-8 inches up here.
So I'll cut it like right here?
You get it, Alex? Oh, that looks nice.
To Dad.
There's some nice dark stuff.
Wow, look at this.
Let's see about this.
Now what we do, guys, is we go ahead and chop him off the length a little bit. And that way we'll process it here in the field a little bit and then put her in the backpack, and when we get to the house, we'll go ahead and process it on down to fatwood.
I think Jeff found one.
But looky here. You guys see what Jeff found?
Yeah.
That is a tinder bundle ready to go. All you gotta do is wrap that up and that is good to go. Yep, I ain't got none in it, bud. That's too small of a limb. You gotta get a little bit bigger limbs. And well, no, we gotta cut this piece off again.
The bigger the tree, the more fatwood it has.
Yep, the tree's gotta be nice and big, and it's a nice big limb on it, and it'll have a lot of good fatwood. Or resin, I should be saying. What it is, the tree dies, it produces resin to try and heal itself from the end of the limbs, and the sap goes into the actual, from the trunk into the limb, but it don't go up very far of the limb. We'll be back.
How's the blackberries?
Pretty good, tastes like jelly. Tastes like blackberry jelly.
Ooh, I bet these are hot, guys. Woo!
That's really comfortable.
Alright, cool.
Just turn on the deep fryer. Got a new tarp I need to strap up one of these days.